cards and still cast Sacred Foundry just makes sense. All right, Jeskai Delver. So we've been playing a lot of Jeskai Tempo on stream. That's a little bit bigger version of, I guess they're honestly, they're far enough apart that they're probably just different decks. So the Tempo deck we've been playing is a Spell Queller, Restoration Angel, 3-mana Teferi in the main deck. And this is trying to be a little bit lower to the ground with Delver and Snapcaster Mage and Dreadhorde Arcanist and Monastery Mentor. So one of my worries with playing a deck like this is trying to attack with this card consistently on the ground in a lot of matchups seems like it's going to be hard. There's a lot of matches in Modern where the board kind of gums up. That being said, Dreadhorde Arcanist is a card where if it goes unchecked, it generates a lot of value, especially in a deck where we have a lot of different cantrips that can be flashing back and lightning bolts and Path to Exile. So we've got a lot of good 1-mana things in this deck that it can be flashing back. Because this is kind of a must-answer threat, and this is a card people need to be killing as well. Ideally, our Monastery Mentors will be living some amount of the time. So let's go ahead and dive on into a league here with this one and see how it goes. I should post this in the Discord. For folks coming in, we've got a new sponsor on the docket for today. Woe Duels is an online wagering platform that you get some of their free currency just for signing up. They also run monthly, daily free to enter tournaments and monthly giveaways on top of that. So you are welcome to wager actual dollars on their site, but you can also just engage with their platform without spending any money. The red-green Scape Shift is almost certainly better than Bring to Light. The Bring to Light Scape Shift deck is a deck that's attempting to make itself less linear to be for the sake of being more interactive, and being more interactive is almost never what you want to be doing in Modern. Yep. Yeah, Jeskai Tempo is one of my favorites right now. Matt's trying to talk me into going to the Team Modern Grand Prix in Indianapolis next month. If I allow myself to get talked into that, it'll probably be with the Jeskai Tempo deck. They took my Spell Pierce, huh? Do it for Matt. That's great. So we go top here. And next turn we'll draw the Delver just like Dubs Delver, flip them on 3. Sign me up. So powerful. I think we might be getting Junded out, chat. Our opponent's going to play Renin 6 next turn. I'm just going to lean over and vomit. I will update the Stream Decker now. Should be good to go. Did I ever mention how my sealed event with Matt went? I went 2/2 drop. Remember how I talked about as more sets got printed, these fringe decks that already struggled to be playable get worse and worse? This is a good example of a fringe deck that struggles to be playable getting worse because a card like Plague Engineer was printed. Yep. I'm going to concede when this Monastery Mentor dies. But on the off chance their hand has no removal in it, I'm going to try and win the game with Mentor. Because I have 2 cantrips in my hand. If the Mentor eats it here, we'll move to the next one. Which it's pretty likely to die there, right? Their deck's full of removal. Plague Engineer also makes our Arcanist not have text. They named Wizard. I'll put Boros Charm in, because that's kind of like a counterspell. Zero Randomizer Teferi. Yeah, I don't know how this deck ever beats Renin 6 plus Plague Engineer. Feels like there's a lot of hostility towards my wizards. My poor little wizards. Just not having a good time, chat. Not having a good time. Is Teferi better than Narset? They don't really draw cards. We could use them to tempo Tarmogoyfs. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was thinking Narset, like, drew us 2 cards. But you're right. The tempo aspect is probably better. Yeah, Celestial Purge is a good card. I think not having one of those in the sideboard might be a small oversight. Alright, who's got 2 thumbs is ready to die to Renin 6 and Plague Engineer? This guy right here. Hey, we're just getting started with Delver. Tyler plays base. This is our second Magic Online deck of the day. You're gonna hear me. Sorry for the people that are gonna hear this on repeat for the next couple of days because you're always here, but different people cycle in and out on different days. So for my regulars that haven't been in yet, my schedule is getting moving forward an hour. So I'm going to be starting and ending a little bit earlier. So I went live about 7 a.m. this morning, and that's gonna be my plan to get started at moving forward. I'm gonna go ahead and opt past this mountain rather than draw another land. He said as he drew another land. So you saw me put a stop there, so that way I could opt before I drew that mountain for the turn. All right, onward, upwards, backward, forward. Sadness goes on the stack. Sadness resolves. Do do do. Do 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 do. Hey, nice, Baron. Happy Tuesday. Venchi, thank you for the half a year support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. And for folks who are fans of Standard and hanging out waiting for the Arena portion to start, because I'm starting Magic Online early, that means Arena is going to be starting earlier on most days too. So sometime between 10 and 11, we'll be starting Arena on average, as opposed to the 11 to noon that we had been starting it at. Ren is okay against fair decks. Ren is exceptional in the matchups where his down tick is removal. However, in the matchups where his down tick's not removal, he's not really that good. Ren was a card I was pretty underwhelmed by when we played Jund. Most of the time we drew it, I kind of wished it was just Liliana the Last Hope. I'm excited to die to Jund 3 times though. This deck almost certainly has a Rancid Jund matchup. Ooh, Birds of Paradise! Yay, Birds of Paradise! I've never been so excited to see a 0-1 in my life, chat. Never been so excited to see a 0-1 in my life. Tap for red, Ren and 6, kill your Delver. Shout out to Birds of Paradise. Wait, are they just playing the GAC with Birds of Paradise? I think they might be playing the GAC with Birds of Paradise. My sweet, pure lovely has been co-opted by the greatest of evil. It's Birds of GAC, chat! The Birds of GAC! The Birds of GAC! I would not like to reveal my Fiery Isle. Why are you trying to ramp into 0 mana spells? It convokes, Bob. Come on now. You can convoke off of it. Anybody else feel dead? Anybody else feeling dead? All right, so I'm going to keep one of these because I want to flip my Delvery Poos. But I don't want both of them because I don't have a lot of mana to, like, spend a bunch of time casting ops before we die in a matchup like this, most likely. Blue to Noob! Thank you for the 5 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Glowspore Shaman, Mill Avengevine. Yep. Yeah, sure. So, like, you just said that Ren and 6 was good in all of the matchups where it could kill things, which is what I said. But, like, here's my question for you. Was your humans matchup bad with Jund? Especially since you also gained this other card. It feels to me like Ren and 6 is one of those cards that's like, it's win more in the matchups where it's good. And, like, it feels great when you get to use it, but, like, what is it actually solving a problem that your deck was having? I'm just unbelievably dead here, right? And after my speech of getting, you know, when we started this league, I was a little bit worried that Modern might run long today. But this is why you just never know. Because sometimes you just get run OVER. Welcome to Modern. Especially when playing brews. This is not a particularly brew friendly format. It did not look like they were on red cards. So I think if they were on Faithless Looting, I'd probably try and board in Narset just because she stops them from drawing eventually. But I feel like I'm just clicking submit like this, just bringing in some Exile cards and path. yeah, I guess I'm keeping this. And this is, the person who submitted this deck originally didn't have Surgicals in the board, and I added a couple because Gok is still really good. But they had Angers, and I left the Angers, but like, looking at this opening hand, this Anger seems questionable. Like, is Anger actually the card I want in my Delver of Secrets, Monastery Mentor, Dreadhorde Arcanist deck? I'd kind of be surprised if that was the case. Oh, Delver, my Delver, why won't you flip now? I just want to attack with my 3/2 in the air. No blocks. So, when you have two cantrips like this, and one of them requires you to make a decision like Opt, and one of them doesn't, like Thought Scour, you always want to cast the cantrip that doesn't have you make a decision second, so that way you see the card that you didn't have a choice in getting before you draw the next one. Look at that! My singing wasn't terrible enough that someone recognized the tune. I'm so good at this. I'm gonna quit this whole Twitch thing and become a singer. I'm gonna make a platinum album. It's gonna be great. Everybody loves my voice, right? I think we're just passing here. I can just sing on Twitch. Look at that. I already have a platform. Am I just supposed to play the other Delver out? I'm probably supposed to play the other Delver. Yeah, that's fair. They're at 14. I've got 6 in my hand. That's 80% of why I sub. God bless. Yeah, and I guess I have the Surgical too. So like, if they go to floop this Vengevine into play, I just like exile it. And to answer your question, yes. Mouth breathers complaining about the sound of my voice is is probably the most common reason that I remove people's ability to comment on my YouTube channel. People are apparently really offended that the voice patterns in which I speak are different than what they're used to hearing. I have actually, this list must be doing something somewhere. Because this is the second or third time we played against this. Is kind of interesting. So like these Knight of Autumns and Dromoka's commands allow them to like play through that graveyard hate, right? Which is interesting. So they're going to get to put a Gak into play. So I need to flip to a path and then also draw a white source here. So in other words, we're probably dead. I can't remember who said it. I think it was one of the MPL players. Was like, what Wizards needs to do is whatever they think is an appropriate mana cost for like a free spell like this, they should just add 5 to it. So like they thought 7 was an appropriate cost for this. They should have made it 12. All right, there's a white source. Just need a path to exile on top of my deck. Nope. So, gosh, we are. I'm not a singing channel. I know. It's devastating. Why not bolt one of his dudes in response to him sacrificing something? That would have prevented Gok, wouldn't it? Yeah, you're right. I could have punished them for being greedy. No, you're right. I could have punished them for being greedy. In my head, I had just assumed that they were going to delve their graveyard and not give me the opportunity to do that. But you're correct. When they sacrificed the 1/1, I could have bolted one of their things in response and prevented them from putting Hagak into play. Yeah, so I could have, because my opponent messed up, I could have stopped them from putting Hagak into play. Despair gives Menace here, so I can't block their stuff anymore. So could have given myself a chance to win that second game because my opponent made a mistake, but then I made a mistake back. Which again, it's like, when you talk about matches like that, it's like, if you sit there and think about it, like, from ultimately, like, how the match plays out, it's like, well, I messed up, so, like, I could have won that game, but, like, if my opponent just plays better, they never give me a chance to mess up in the first place, so it's just, like, in a matchup perspective, my deck was certainly getting run over there if both players are playing well. Like, I'm only in that game with a chance because my opponent kicked the ball in the first place. Okie doke. I think I'm in for a third land. I probably would just fetch the Steam Vents anyways. So that's fine. So, Psychonaut, again, being alive versus being dead isn't literally dead that turn. It's how do you actually win the game. So you're correct. I could Lightning Bolt their Lotleth Troll and double block their other thing and not be dead that turn, but then I can't kill them. I can't kill them the following turn. So the fact that I can't kill them the following turn means that not being dead that turn ultimately doesn't matter. Yeah, the mana base in this deck has been really brutal. There's a lot of fetches and shocks, and these Fiery Isles have been slaughtering us in these games. These are lands that deal damage to us. Looks like we're going to be moving to Magic Arena and some actual video games here very quickly this morning. Looks like we're going to get slaughtered one more time here. Oh, I think I'm just pathing this in. Let's just play Arena. I'm done with this deck. I just don't have any decisions that matter here. Our cards just aren't good. Yeah. I loosened up some of my deck requirements and what I accepted for Modern for a little bit, and I'm going to be going back to things that are a little bit more strict and mostly accepting just like decks that I really like that are fringe, or decks that are better decks like the Izzet or the Urza deck that we had just played, and like the Phoenix deck we played yesterday. The average card quality in this deck is just not good enough. Dreadhorde Arcanist and Delver's Secrets, these just aren't really Modern playable cards. playing this many cantrips without having a super powerful payoff like Phoenix just isn't good enough. Arclight Phoenix is basically a modern playable Delver of Secrets. You don't have to expend a bunch of effort to flip it. It attacks the turn you play it, and it comes back if your opponent manages to kill it. So this is basically just felt like a bad Phoenix deck, which is one of the reasons why when I'm playing Jeskai in Modern, one of the things you see here is a lot fewer cantrips, because I think if you're leaning into the cantrip mode, you're basically just being bad Arclight if you're not playing Arclight Phoenix. Someone said they're surprised not to see the Hammer deck in the queue. That's a deck that I've rejected 2 or 3 times now because it's not modern playable. To set a bar that's low, we've played Blue-Red Delver Tempo somewhat recently, and because this deck takes a lot less damage from its mana base than the Jeskai deck we just played, it's somewhat reasonable, but I still don't think this deck is very good. I think the last time we played it on stream, we managed to go 4-1, because if you run really good, you can win with anything, and we ran pretty well with it last time, but if you really wanted to play Delver, I think this 2-color variation is better just because you get to play Mutavault as an efficient creature land, and your mana base is less painful even with a bunch of Fiery Isles. But in general, I don't think these decks are stellar in Modern. So if you're looking for something as a recommendation from just a pure power level perspective, I would not recommend playing this Wizards deck in a format with Renin 6 and Plague Engineer in it now. C Unit, thank you for the 19 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, let's roll into some standard on Magic Arena, shall we? Someone asked about the MSI installer. I have it bookmarked here. Hold on. There's that installer works with wine. Because I used it to update my install the other day. All right, what are we doing here? Hey, Dask, thanks for the 5 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Update the Stream Decker.